Coming up on this week's news, the trade war could lead to new highway tolls for U.S. truckers on some highways in Canada. A reminder of toll increases happening this week, and which toll bridges are among U.S. bridges likely to collapse in the near future. We have a report from Johns Hopkins University. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's update of all that's coming down the pike. This is a critical week in the ongoing international trade war launched by President Trump with so-called Liberation Day. Administration newspeak for massive tariffs set to take effect this week, April 2nd, including a 25% tariff on all cars not made in the U.S. To the north, Canada has been preparing to impose a series of retaliatory tolls on highways that are sometimes used by U.S. haulers, including the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia, and imposing new trucker tolls on highways through British Columbia connecting with Alaska. Yukon is also considering a toll on the Alaska Highway. The trade war is already taking its toll, pardon the pun, on border towns which are under economic pressure, as well as social and political pressure as a consequence of the White House's economic warfare. But in International Falls, Minnesota, they came out in a show of solidarity over the weekend. And right on the International Falls Bridge, that's the toll bridge connecting the remote towns of International Falls, Minnesota and Fort Frances, Ontario. CBC News of Canada estimates about 150 people braved icy conditions to show their unity amid the escalating trade war in an event called Hands Across the Border. Meanwhile, travel across the border gets more expensive on the Seaway International Bridge connecting New York and Ontario, but this is a planned toll hike we've been telling you about. That happens this week, along with the increase for cash-paying customers on the Delaware Memorial Bridge and a price hike on the Pocahontas Parkway near Greater Richmond, Virginia. Global Via, which owns the Pocahontas Parkway, unveiled the new tolls taking effect April 1st, which includes raising the passenger car rate to $5.95 for a straight shot across the parkway, plus a $3.45 toll if you're heading to Richmond's airport via Airport Drive. Elsewhere, even as New York and the White House conduct battle over the Manhattan congestion tolling zone, Toll Roads News reported on 3 San Francisco Area Transportation Authority commissioners who have determined the New York congestion pricing plan is a success and proof of concept for a plan that could be adopted for downtown San Francisco. However, the report notes City County Supervisor Matt Dorsey suggested congestion pricing is not currently needed in San Francisco's downtown, given post-pandemic conditions. However, he noted new housing and improved business conditions in the future could create an environment where a congestion toll zone is necessary. In case you missed it, Kentucky's General Assembly voted to override a gubernatorial veto of a tolling mandate for the new I-69 toll bridge being built to connect Henderson and Evansville, Indiana. That project has been underway with improvements on the Kentucky and Indiana sides of the Ohio River, and construction of the actual I-69 Ohio River crossing is expected to begin in 2027. Both houses overrode Governor Andy Beshear's veto by handy margins, 77-16 in the House, 32-6 in the state Senate. A report from Johns Hopkins University is raising alarm bells about the prospects of another ship collision with a major transportation corridor, and a number of crucial toll bridges are on the list, including some that were recently cited as needing a risk assessment in a separate report from the National Transportation Safety Board. The Johns Hopkins study was released in the past week and was done in the immediate aftermath of the collision of the cargo ship Dolly with the Francis Scott Key Bridge on March 26, 2024. That's just over a year ago now. The report found there is already a major collision happening every 3 to 5 years in the U.S., and there are 3 crucial toll bridges in the report identified as most vulnerable to being struck and possibly collapsing. Those are the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, the Beltway 8 Bridge, which is part of the Sam Houston Tollway in Texas, and the Bayonne Bridge connecting New York and New Jersey. In addition to the Johns Hopkins report, the NTSB had already identified 68 bridges in need of immediate assessment for their risk of bridge collapse, including assessments it deemed critical. Among the toll bridges on the critical list are the Sunshine Skyway south of St. Petersburg, Florida, the Chicago Skyway, the William Preston Lane Bay Bridge in Maryland, the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge and the Newburgh Beacon Bridges, both in New York, and even the George Washington Bridge connecting New York and Fort Lee, New Jersey. The NTSB report notes all bridges identified were built before 1991, when updated bridge safety guidance was issued by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. Coming up next week, we take a look at plans for a new toll road connecting I-5 and the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Until then, drive safely and avoid distracted driving. I'm Danny Pryor, reporting for Turnpikes.com, the Turnpike Authority.